Hey, it's Martin Harvey, and today I'm going to talk about what to do when your brand feels a little irrelevant, tired, or uncomfortable. I recently rebranded my business, and today's episode of Harvey Co TV, I want to share some tips with you that I learned along the way. In September of 2020, I knew something needed to change. White Whale Web Design felt authentic, irrelevant to me, and it kind of felt like I was just wearing a cheap suit that just didn't quite fit anymore. In addition, people found it hard to refer to me because they couldn't remember my brand name. Sometimes they would refer to me as Martin from White Whale, other times it was Martin from Whale Designers, and it just wasn't a good look. I knew that if I didn't change something, I would be living as Martin from Whale Designers for the rest of my life. So, in September of 2020, I decided to change something. So here's 3 things to think about if you're trying to decide if rebranding is even necessary for you. First, it may be time to rebrand if your current brand is not capable of reaching your next level goals. As a business, you should always be trying to grow, change, add value to your customers, and if your current brand is not capable of doing that, then it may be time to rebrand. Second, it may be time to rebrand if you just feel inauthentic within your brand. As the entrepreneur, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, your brand is you. And if you feel like you're inauthentic, you're not comfortable, then you can't expect your customers or anybody who is looking for your business to feel like it's authentic as well. So if you feel inauthentic in your brand, then it may be time to rebrand your business. Tip number 3, it may be time to rebrand if people can't remember your name. Your name of your business is one of the most important aspects of your business because it's how people refer to you and remember you. And if people can't remember your full name, then it may be time to rebrand your business into a name that people can remember and remains relevant in people's minds. So in September of 2020, I decided to rebrand my business. And like renovating an old house, I stripped it down to the studs. I really wanted to evaluate everything that was going on within my business, find the opportunities, evaluate the pitfalls, ask customers what they liked and what they didn't like, so that I could rebrand my business into something that was going to last me for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. I planned for the rebranding process to take 4 weeks, and boy was I wrong. It actually took me 5 months to complete the rebranding process. So here are some tips I learned along the way that can help your rebranding process go as smooth and as effective as possible. First, set a realistic goal, create a plan, and stick to that plan. It's so important to be able to have a goal and a vision of what you want your brand to look like. You may not know certain colors, or you may not have an idea on what exactly your logo will be, or if you're changing your name, what that name will be. However, as you're going into this rebranding process, put everything out there, think about it truly, and have a vision for where you want to go, and then start inviting other people in to participate on that vision with you. So that leads me to tip number 2. Get outside help early. If you need to bring in your accountant or financial advisor for any kind of name change, bring those people in and let them know that you're going to be changing your name so that they can get started on the documents. If it's just a marketing change, bring in your graphic designers, your web designers, and outsourced marketing agency. Start those interviews if you're bringing in a team. Make sure that you're bringing in that team early and being as transparent as possible with them so that they can contribute to your vision based on their expertise. Tip number 3, if your rebranding involves a name change, make sure you have a plan for everywhere that name is going to change. For example, you may have some IRS filings, you may have terms and conditions, privacy policy, accessibility policy, social media accounts, brochures. Just have a plan for how you're going to change that name over time so that people don't get confused between your old brand and your new brand. Tip number 4, don't stack your plate too high. Especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, it can be really easy to start your rebranding process, to really get into it, then have an idea and completely shift to that idea And then your rebranding process starts to fall apart because you start getting behind on your plan because you're involved in other things. So, to not get involved with that, I would recommend just sticking to your plan, doing your rebranding process, completing it to fruition, creating notes of other things that you want to get done later after the rebranding process is finished, so that you don't have any confusion between your old brand and your new brand when it comes to your customers and networking partners. So here's some tips to make the process less stressful and more fun based on your strengths and weaknesses. First, get out of the office and meet your team in a place that inspires you. As the entrepreneur, you want to meet your team in a place that inspires your vision for your new brand so that they can feel that inspiration as well. Second, use this time to have some deep reflection about yourself and your business. You may discover that there's new opportunities for you that you haven't thought about because you've been so busy with your business. For me, it was taking walks, it was going on drives, it was just taking time after networking meetings to sit there and just think about my brand. This is something you can do to find new opportunities and how you can add value to your customers' lives. 3. Don't rush the process. Being patient is one of the most important things when it comes to rebranding because the whole process can be overwhelming, anxious, and very stressful at times, especially if you're managing your customers and your rebranding process at the same time. Finally, don't try and do it all yourself. I didn't. Pull in the right people who can give you great advice, who you trust, and who you can test new concepts with. That way you can make your brand perfect when it's ready to be unveiled. So I hope you found these tips helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I manage these accounts personally and would love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, give it a like so that more people like you can find it. If you're new here, click the subscribe button so that you'll get notified every time I drop new episodes of Harvey Co TV. I'll see you next time.